and he stands directly behind me, grabs the back of my pants, and
having kids at my age is kind of like getting a DUI just as you pull into your driveway.
If you parented during the pandemic, shake your antidepressants. You guys have a show.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane.
Hello! Welcome to the Parents Lounge. I'm your host, Jason Gowan. I know Jamie Kaler looks a little different tonight. Actually, he is off. He is shooting his last day of the season for Tacoma FD, so he is out tonight. He may drop in, you never know. But in his place, the much more charming, much funnier Betsy Stover is here tonight.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I love being on this show.
We love having you. We missed you. We haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah, I've been teaching improv classes on the night that you do the shows. So now that's over, and now I'm here. Yeah,
And we love it.
Great.
We have a special guest with us tonight. I think you know her.
Yeah.
You may know her from Motherhood in Hollywood, The Office, and pretty much every TV show ever. Ladies and gentlemen, our good friend Heather Brooker is here. Heather, what's up, buddy?
Yay! Oh, no.
Heather, you're muted.
And frozen. Oh, no. Now just muted.
You're mute. Now you're just muted.
I'm here.
Oh, there you go.
See, I ruined my own bit with technology. What a dummy.
You mean that whole bit that you did it on purpose when you were...
Yeah. Like casually, like not unaware, which seems like the story of my life lately. You guys look so good. Like, why is your picture so clear and I look grainy? Is my internet terrible?
I don't know.
Betsy,
It could be.
like literally
What browser are you using?
I use the Chrome.
Okay, Firefox is actually the best one, but for this,
little Firefox shame. I love it.
Yeah, we're sponsored by Firefox. So.
Really?
Okay, you gotta give them a plug.
No.
No, but it is the software that, for whatever reason, that software runs this the best. That's what they've told us with tech stuff when we've had issues before. Could be internet connection, could be a lot of things. Are you guys back to school?
Oh, yes. Yes, we are. Thank God.
How long? How long have you been free?
About a week and a half. Although, I think they started on like August 16th. What is time?
What is time?
Because then they were like home with tummy aches for a few days. So
Did they pull that already, or was it legit?
I had a nervous breakdown. I swear to God, I was like, I gotta up my meds. Like, this is awful.
Ours was, we had one of our kids legitimately sick on day 3.
No.
Oh, wow.
No.
100.4 fever. I got the phone call, one of the twins.
Oh, that's actually sad.
I mean, he's too young to know to fake it. So I knew when I got the call. Well, when I saw the school district called, I immediately was afraid that the 6-year-old had done something. Because typically that's what it
happens.
is. And
Yeah.
and so
Isn't that the worst? You see the call, like you see it coming in, and you're just like, it's one or two things. They either are sick and I have to go pick them up, or they did something, and now I have to act like I'm surprised and upset.
Sadly, it's mostly that he's done something. I don't think I've ever had to go get him for being sick. In fact, it got to be so bad that I changed our outgoing message to a different family.
Oh,
did you?
If they called, they're like, "Oh, it's the wrong number."
The wrong number.
Oh, who are the Perkins? I don't know who that is.
They must have. The Gowans changed their number and didn't tell us. So.
We're back in school as of 2 weeks ago. We're back in school, and I have just the one, so I never get calls. It's like. I don't even think the teachers know who I am or anybody at the school. I don't know anybody. It's very weird. I have a weird, like, she just goes and I don't know what she does all day. I'm assuming she's learning stuff. She comes home.
I mean, does she seem to be progressively getting smarter? I mean, is there a gauge for you?
Not particularly. No, I mean.
Heather, are you sure you're dropping her off at a school? Is it a school?
My husband does. She's there when I arrive to pick her up. So.
Oh, I used to pull that all the time. I would leave in the middle of the day and come back.
Typical 9-year-old. So sly. But
yeah,
no, I realized the other day when they had the drop off. For the, all the parents were there. First day of school is always like nuts, and everyone's like, "Oh, are you going to eat coffee and donuts?" And I was like,
"No, I'm going to go home and drink."
But I was like, "Coffee and donuts? Like who?" I didn't even know that they were doing that. And that was from the one mom that I knew. And I realized, I was like, I'll take a free donut on my way out. And I realized I don't know any of these parents. Like, I don't know. I'm the worst mom at the school. I don't know any other parents. Like, if you told me right now, call another parent in her class, I'd be like, couldn't do it.
No.
So bad.
No. You're not the worst mom. I've
had
all these
moms
at my house.
I mean,
for birthday parties, and I still can't recognize their face when I see them. And they've been in my home multiple times.
And you're like, wait, who are you?
Hey, Maureen, welcome.
Hi, Maureen. Yeah, no, I just feel like I'm so bad I'm not really good at chatting and like stuff like that. I'm like, I'm going to pick her up and then I want to go home. So.
That coffee and donuts thing, was that a ploy to get you to like be part of the like PTA? Because when you said it, I was like, this sounds like when I was in college and some really nice girl would be like, you want to come to a pizza party? And then if you went to the pizza party, it was all about Jesus and like joining their Bible study or whatever. I was like, this stinks like Bible study.
I ended up with a timeshare in Orlando doing that same thing.
What grade is your daughter in, Heather?
She's in 4th grade.
Right on. And what grades are you in now, Jason?
We are in kindergarten and preschool. So the twins were diagnosed as being nonverbal. We've got some stuff going on that we're trying to piece together and figure out. So they qualified for a special needs daycare program that they are going to now, and they learned to. We had been using like the toddler teeth brushing mitt thing on them, and like their second day they learned to brush their teeth, which was a big deal.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I want my kids to learn to brush their teeth at school too.
I was very impressed. And they came home and they like knew what they were doing. I was like, why do we all have toothbrushes? What is happening? And they were practicing, so I was very impressed.
I remember growing up, but we did this in elementary school though. I want to say it was like maybe 3rd or 4th grade, where we had like a dentist come by, and everybody got this like red mouthwash dye thing, and we all rinsed our mouth with it to see how much plaque and it was there and how we were really brushing. And I remember being like horrified, not just at myself, but all the other disgusting kids in my class. Nobody was brushing their teeth. Like it was like just big red Kool-Aid smiles, like as far as the eye could see. And this dentist was like, "Oh my God." Yeah. So we all learned proper brushing technique, but it was like 4th or 5th grade.
This is like, I mean, these are preschool age kids. I mean, there's nobody in there older than 4, and they are
preschool. They taught wiping too. Did they teach wiping for you guys?
I mean, not yet, but I'm looking forward to it because I mean, my wife may actually send me back to the class.
Well, if you need it.
She lives. I always joke. I do this joke where like she lives with 4 boys, so like with me and the 3 boys, so she will not know the luxury of a clean toilet seat for the next 15 years.
Oh, that's so sad and gross.
Neither will I. I can only buy rugs that you can put in a washing machine if I have a rug at all. Yeah. Oh, toilets? No. You buy a Glade plug-in and then you just go with God.
We have an elderly Chihuahua, and he's been mine since he was a puppy, and he is getting to the point now where he has stopped giving 2 shits about where he takes a dump.
No,
and so he pooped directly in front of the toilet, and I came in and I went, oh, so close. So close.
That would have been amazing if your elderly Chihuahua shat in the toilet.
He was so close. I was like, oh, buddy. But he's elderly, so getting up there would have been problematic, I'm sure.
I like that Heather's dog was like, "You talking about dogs?"
I know, like, timing. There you go. She's coming to sit on her throne. Lay down. You're being annoying. Yeah, she was like, "Someone talking about dogs? What, dogs?"
Jason, does that mean that this is the first year that you are home like without kids during the day now? Is this the first time?
Yes, I have not. So we have not had this since pre-twin birth.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
So my wife and I sat just in the, I mean, it was so eerily quiet. I thought that like the rapture had happened because I was like, everyone is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, from the field, Captain Polanski.
Hey! Hollywood's here.
Captain Polanski. Oh.
Your mic, sir.
You muted.
And he's gone.
Oh.
Candle in the wind.
Oh, and there's Steve Lemmy from Super Troopers.
We can't
You're
hear
muted.
you.
Can't hear you.
Your mic
is muted, James.
We can't hear you.
There it is.
There.
Yay!
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
I'm calling in from the set of Tacoma FD. How's everybody
Love
doing?
it.
Good, man. How's it going today?
It's great. My kids are home and I'm here. It's the last day of shooting for the entire season, and so they are giving away filet mignon and we had crab cakes, and then they have a hot dog start. And there's Marcus. Say hi, Marcus.
Oh, hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, Marcus.
Yeah.
Hi, Marcus.
Hey, now.
Set craft services is the best.
Who's this?
Wait, you're live on the. This is so I do.
I'm on the intranet?
Yeah, there's Gabe.
Oh,
Gabe
shit,
Hogan.
nice.
That's the cast from Tacoma FD.
How's it going,
Love
guys?
it.
Oh, lunch looks
And
fantastic.
hot dog.
Parents, dads, we're just happy to be away from our kids for the night.
Yes.
Jamie, all fancy. Yes, Maureen, I am fancy. This is my uniform.
Your fancy outfit.
Well, and
Did
you
I
have your
interrupt-
face
Did I
on.
interrupt some amazing stories?
We were talking about
We were discussing learning to wipe at school.
Learning to what?
Wipe.
Learning to wipe.
Correct.
Wipe.
On the toilet.
Oh, and so you guys were 12 minutes into the show and it's already devolved into potty humor? I love it.
Yes.
I'm running the show tonight. Of course, that's where it went.
Yeah, I think it went, but that's nice. I'm just excited. Honestly, it's so great because normally when I do the show, I'm in the front room from my kids, but now I'm really away from my kids. And honestly, we might be shooting till 3:00 in the morning tonight. If you catch my drift.
Oh.
Oh.
I think he's got something in his eye.
Maybe he's upset. Maybe he's crying because he's gonna miss his kids.
He's gonna miss
I
them.
know. Well, I just want to check in because I don't want to interrupt anything because I love the fact that Betsy and Heather are doing the show together. And honestly, Jason, I mean, I don't even know if you need to be here. It really.
I
feel like
they would be just fine. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're here as kind of a, just so dads can represent, but I don't think you're offering anything that they don't already know.
I'm actually going to ask advice from them.
Oh boy.
Honestly, that's
Keep
what
drinking.
I would do as well.
Jason, are you in LA?
I am no, Heather, remember, I am slightly north of Scranton.
No. Oh yeah, that's right. Jason's in Scranton, and then hold on, somebody said something about, is it my dog is fire department? Jamie,
Yeah,
are you
yes.
Oh, why? If Ari's in the house, why isn't Ari on the show?
He's downstairs
he
watching the
take the
kids.
Jamie, are you filming in LA or is it somewhere else?
We are in LA. We're out in the valley in Woodland Hills.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Serving Dalmatian realness is very they guys bring it.
Work, dog, work.
Well, listen, I honestly do not want to interrupt because I have nothing to offer and I can barely hear anybody anyway. But I wanted to chime in. Maybe I'll pop in a little later. We're going back to shoot. I can't tell you any of the storyline, but
will he make it? Will he survive?
Will he do heroin?
Yes, that should be. I'll show you props, and then you can tell me what Maureen, Betsy is why mommy drinks coming back soon. Yes. That's a really
pressure.
We are currently on hiatus and we have all sorts of exciting things that are planned, but there has been a hiccup in our plans and now everything is on hold. And so I can't announce anything exciting. And so we're in a weird holding pattern and I have to figure out what the hell we're doing and how we're going to.
That's frustrating.
So yes, the show is currently on hiatus, but we should be back to business soon. We're working on it.
Funny. Let's see if Lemmy's here. Where's Lemmy? Everyone's getting hot dogs. They took a little food break. I don't even know if I can.
What happened to? Didn't you say there was like steak?
You said there was steak. Why would anyone eat a hot dog? I felt bad for that man with a hot dog because I thought maybe he didn't know about the steak.
Maybe he didn't know about the fillets.
So for lunch they had you could have filet mignon, crab cakes, chicken cordon bleu, or shrimp scampi, and I had all four.
That sounds on brand.
I really did. I ate so much food. And you know how the last day on the show is everyone starts giving out treats. They started giving out treats. So, everyone, like the regulars, Marcus just gave everyone like desserts and stuff. So I'm very full. I forgot. It's so I told them the show. I forgot I had kids. I was like, oh, that's right. I have kids. I forgot about that. Yeah.
You're living your best life today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are.
My kids are in an improv class right now. Betsy, do your kids do improv?
They do occasionally. They have in the past. They took some classes at Second City. Are you kids liking it?
They are. It's their second class ever, and it's a friend of mine who teaches it. And I was like, I guess. And I kind of put them in, and then no, they love it. But I was I wasn't sure because I don't want to be one of those stage parents who's like, you're going to do this.
You guys,
they kind of came to me and said they wanted to do it.
It doesn't have to be like that though, because like I told you guys before, I didn't want to be that parent either. I waited for her to like show interest, and then I slowly introduced it, starting with improv. And it's just fun. It's play pretend. It's fun for them, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're like no more wire hangers. Like you're not. It doesn't go from that to that quickly. Just introducing them to the fun of acting and improv. Oh, we lost him.
No, you didn't lose me.
Okay.
I totally agree. And you know what's funny? We were talking about this. I think even Betsy and I had spoke about this when I took her class. Was that I think for kids like improvisational to teach them yes and we've talked about this so many times. Like I think it's just one of the best skills that any person can have. So it's at an early age, I think saying yes and adding to the conversation. I mean, obviously not if like a guy comes up and is like, "Hey, get in my van," and they're like, "Yes, and what else can we do?" Like that's not.
What else is next?
Yeah, but they should. I mean, in that case, no. But otherwise, I think like kids that are negative go down that path, and I think kids that are kind of like more agreeable to a yes and kind of conversation do better. But
I agree. Human beings
to like fun things.
Yeah, it teaches you active listening. Sorry. Yes, Van.
Yes, Van. I love it.
Apologize for my hair too.
I like
it. It's amazing.
It looks the same as it always looks. What do you mean?
They dyed it red. This was my hair color in like my 30s, and it was horrible. I hated it.
It's like your headshot color.
Now it's white. My hair's really white. These guys dyed it.
Oh.
And
I didn't even notice the color. It was more the shape of it.
Oh, the shape is. Yeah, that took a while. I was standing outside on the main street here, and these like dump trucks were like doing stuff, and I was just kind of like, "Oh my god, that's how a dump truck works." And I was just standing there, and then the dudes got super spooked and were like, "Hey man, there's nothing illegal here." And I was like, "Oh, that's right, I'm in a cop outfit." I was just standing out on the street in a cop outfit.
Do you guys remember, like back in the day? I don't know if I don't think anyone's doing this as much, but when I first moved out here, like almost 20 years ago, we would dress up like sort of in costumes to go, especially to commercial auditions when they were like dressed like a doctor, dressed like a nurse, dressed like a teacher, whatever it might be.
Take your hat.
Yeah. And I always wondered if my neighbors thought I was crazy or like wondered what I would do. Because I was leaving my house every day. Like one day I was in a nurse. And then I would also be afraid that I would be somewhere and someone would be like, "Nurse, help us." Because I always had a lot of nurse auditions and I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, and then if you decline, you're like, "No, I can't help you." They would think, "Oh, what a dick nurse you are."
What a dick. Yeah, today someone would film it and be like, "Look at this asshole nurse not helping anybody." So watch yourself out there, Jamie. Someone might be filming you for their TikTok. Look at this asshole cop not even helping us.
Oh,
most
cops will help you put trash in a truck.
Yeah, this guy just stood there and watched us.
Twitter, do your thing.
That's right. Canceled.
and that's how Jamie was canceled today. I'm so sorry, Jamie.
Honestly, yeah.
I knew you'd get canceled, but I didn't think this is how it would go down.
Yeah. Oh,
No, it's not how I thought he would say something horribly offensive on this show, and then he would be canceled.
I got to go back to work. I'm back to work. But hey,
hey, buddy.
I'm sorry I came in and gang busted in, but I love it. Seriously, Betsy and Heather, thank you guys so much for stepping in and taking the show. I love it. Have fun, and thank you for everybody tuning in. Talk to you soon.
All right, have fun.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that's so fun.
I thought he might pop in. He said earlier he might pop in if he could.
Well, I'm glad he did. I do think about that, though. Do you guys ever think about that? Like, you never know now who's filming you or at what point something weird that you think is normal. Somebody else could be like, "What is this lady doing?" And then next thing you know, you're on TikTok. Because I talk to myself a lot. I do weird stuff. And I'm like, is someone going to be filming me when I'm being weird?
I haven't thought about that aspect of it. I know that like I shot a video of our twins. Like it was literally 20 seconds of them melting down during a restaurant lunch. And I got torn apart because I'm a bad parent for letting them act that way. It was 20 seconds of a video and I'm a bad parent.
You posted it? Did you post it like on social? Is that what you
mean?
Yeah,
I posted it on Instagram and like it was clear like it was done for entertainment purposes because it was, me handling my kids. It's kind of the deal with this show. And
you were just being brand conscious, Jason.
Yeah, I mean I was trying to forward our momentum and clearly I'm just a horrible effing father.
Well, there's differing opinions on that. Like some people think that it is terrible and horrible to show your kids in those situations because they don't know any better and they're still learning and all of that. some other people think that it makes you more relatable and that it gives parents something to connect with and relate with. So it's like you can't win either way. So you just have to do what feels natural for you and right for you in the moment.
Letting them watch the world burn is what feels most natural to me.
There you go. Watch the world burn.
I would guarantee that most of the people who had an issue with that video probably don't even have kids and were just mad that you were letting your kids be loud in public.
Yes.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
And I course corrected them in the video. So it's like 20 seconds of bad and then I shut it down. And the guy's like, I have triplets and I would never let them act like that. I was like, because you're probably a horrible effing father.
And also like, okay, cool comment, man. Like, nice story, bro.
They've got to get their feelings out. Like it's part of the growing process. Like especially if they're not speaking yet or forming full, they're still learning the language. Like it's part of the way they learn to regulate their emotions.
So
you
my toddler had a meltdown tonight in the middle of the street and I was worried that our neighbors would film it and put it online. Yeah. You never know.
It's a real fear now.
Have you, I mean, with you guys both being in the public eye, do you have guys, how do you guys feel about that same thing?
My public meltdowns?
Yeah, like yours or your daughter's, either one.
She's at the age now, and Betsy, how old is your oldest?
11.
Okay, so she's at the age now. She's 9, and she's definitely starting to push back, find her sass. We are definitely in the tween phase where she's finding her independence, and everything, even if it's something really benign, is like, I'm not going to do that. And I'm like, oh, and she does this stuff in public, and sometimes it's too far. And I find myself being like, oh, I have to calm myself or I'm afraid I'm going to lose my shit. And there's been a few times where I have really sternly yelled at her, or I'll just call her out and she hates that. But I'm not the parent that's going to let my kid be disrespectful or rude to me or anybody. She's not rude. She just has these moments where she's trying to, assert herself, and sometimes it's not appropriate. So.
That's such a kind way of saying it. 'Cause my 11-year-old is definitely rude and disrespectful to me in public and in private. And I don't know quite how to address it. Because, it's like, feel your feelings, but also oh, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Betsy, are they that way with Ari or only you?
Oh, with Ari too. It's
okay.
She's Tammy's like that with my husband too. Yeah.
See, so for me, our oldest doesn't give me any flack, but if he thinks he can with his mother, he does right away. Yeah. She's very soft spoken, so even when she's yelling, it still sounds like she's just kind of talking to you.
Oh, God bless. I could just be like, I don't like this, and my son is like, you are yelling at me.
Don't yell at me.
Which is horrible, because then I'm like, you want to hear me yell?
Yes, because then you find yourself going, you want to know what yelling is? Yeah.
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
It's next level. Yeah. That's what I fight with, is trying to not let the avalanche get started, because she will match my energy until we're both yelling. And that's what I'm like, I cannot do that. It drives me crazy. And if we're out in public or something, then I will just, when she was a toddler, I will just leave the situation. We will walk out of a store. I will leave shit where I found it. We will leave, and I will go and I will yell at her in the car.
That's hard to do, though, to just, at least for me, I always feel like I just need to complete this thing to leave everything in the store. And that takes a lot of gumption.
Yeah. It's hard. They test you. They definitely test you and push you.
You were saying negative too. Our oldest is he's probably listening. Whatever. He's so negative that we've gotten to the point now where when he says negative things, we just go ding, as just we ding it as if we had just a little. just to remind him that he's being negative. I don't know if it helps, but it gives me a charge.
How does
It
he
makes me
react?
feel- He doesn't like it.
Yeah, they don't like to be called out when you're being buttholes. They don't like to be called out when they're being that way. They just, I just don't think, and I think what's scary to me is all the parents that have gone before us who have like 18, 19-year-olds are like, oh, it only gets worse. And I'm like, stop it. How can this get worse? Sometimes it's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
they
then
will have killed me off long before I get to see any of those years.
That is what I worry about, not to get too dark, but like I've got 3 boys and there's always a little part, and I listen to too much true crime and I'm always like, oh no, I better nip this in the bud or they're gonna murder me one day.
I have twins. I am legitimately concerned. I have an Eric and Lyle Menendez situation happening here.
You should be. Twins have a different like connection than the rest of us. Like they made plans in the womb. Like
there's something genetic there that like, look, when the egg splits, so does the soul. Like there's just, you can't all have all of it. It's just not going to work. And it didn't split evenly. Like they didn't each get half. It was like Logan got like 85% and then Anthony got like 3% and the rest just was lost during the birth.
So there's definitely an evil twin, is what you're saying?
Well, they're both evil, but Anthony, I call him the Dark Lord. Like it's there's a reason he's earned that nickname. His new thing is, so because they're nonverbal, they only speak. It's somewhere across between a sim and a minion. So like when they argue with each other, it's and like, but Anthony's starting to pick up little phrases, and so his new thing is he'll yell at you and then he'll go Taco Bell, and then like, and I was like, I don't know what he thinks Taco Bell means, but I know it's a lot meaner than what he
he's probably like cussing you out with Taco Bell.
It's in the nuances of how he's speaking it. I know that he's
like, you are cheap and full of sawdust, Taco Bell.
True. He's a savage child. I don't know.
I'm gonna make you shit your brains out. Ha!
He's savage.
They've turned on their mother. They've turned on their mother, and because she let them beat me, I have stopped intervening when they attack her. I'm like, no, you let it happen to me, so now I'm kidding. I do interfere.
I was like, you better walk that back real quick.
No, I do help her out because like she has a heart condition. We have to be very careful.
Oh my goodness.
So Jamie and I've talked about it. Like they tried to kill her right out of the womb. Like it was just, there's the darkness in those kids.
Oh, okay. So we're not doing play dates anytime soon.
I mean, here's the thing. Like if you came to the Scranton area and we went to a restaurant, you'll be fine because they're eating. But you don't want to you don't want to be there like 2 hours after when the boredom sets in. Like you don't want to be there for that.
Gremlin-y. Speaking of Scranton, I have to tell you, by the way, thank you so much. After our last episode together and we talked about The Office, I had no idea that my episode was had been released on the extended cut of season 5. And Jason saw it and was like, hey, you said you were cut from this, but I just watched it. And I was like, what? So I literally got to show my daughter my episode of me being on The Office because she loves The Office. And she's like, Mommy was on it, but she wasn't really on it, because I was cut out twice. But now that they released them on Peacock, I'm back in both episodes, and I'm also. What is
the other one? What is the other episode you're in?
I'm in the delivery part 1,
Okay.
And then I was in business ethics in season 5. So delivery part 1 was in season 6.
So it's not out yet, extended yet.
Well, but it is on the regular season. If you watch season 6 on Peacock, it's like episode, I want to say like maybe 13 or something. Whatever business ethics is, it's on there.
I found the business ethics one right away because they had just like a week before you were on released season 5, so I was watching it.
Crazy.
And when you said it, I was like, I just watched that episode, and I think I saw her. And then I went back after you said it, and I was like, no, that's her for sure.
Me.
And then
with much shorter hair. For season 6 though, I want to say it was like it was really late in the season because it was the season finale is when Jim and Pam had their baby.
Right.
So I'm in the regular Peacock version of that one, but I was cut out until the extended episode of my second episode. So that was like such a night. I honestly thought it's gone forever. I'll never see it again. It will be like it never happened. One of the most amazing days I've ever had on set. Like it never happened.
Well, we legitimately eat at the restaurant that you supposedly work at, like pretty often. Like
that's so funny.
So my wife's cardiologist is in Scranton. So when we go down, like it's just our go-to stop because they serve the kids meals in little cardboard boats, and they give you a shark. Like they get like a shark that has like a flavor shot in it. It's this little shark that has a flavor shot in it. You dump it into the drink, and you can't, like, my kids think it's the greatest thing ever.
I think that sounds like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. It's an old school seafood restaurant. It's one of those ones where like they make a gravy to put on everything. Like even like stuff that shouldn't have a gravy has a gravy.
Gross. Well, they used a restaurant here in Glendale called Clancy's, and it was also an old school seafood restaurant, but it closed several years ago, like maybe like 6-7 years ago. And that's where they filmed the interior for that scene. So it was literally like less than half a mile from my house.
Yes, Jobo, it is exactly like a shark Jaeger bomb. That's exactly what it is like, but for kids. And they take the sharks home and then I step on them in the friggin' tub.
You guys remember Jaeger bombs? Or like in college drinking Jägermeister and Goldschlager? Was I the only like redneck doing that?
No, Jaeger and me. So Jaeger flips the Will Ferrell and old school switch in me. It's not a good thing. It's never, ever, ever good. Ever for any reason.
It's not a good situation.
It's not.
I went to NYU, so we didn't do a lot of like Jaeger, but we did do a lot of like bring a fake ID into an all-you-can-drink wine with your Chinese food dinner kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
See, that sounds nicer than what I did, which was until last year I couldn't go to Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania because there were statutes of limitations that I had to wait out.
Jason, what did you do?
Wow.
This is very public. There was a lot of news.
He instantly
I don't know if all of those things have been disappeared yet. I know they were looking for me. I don't know. One time I got completely wasted and I went streaking in the quad legitimately, and then I ripped a rain gutter off somebody's house, and I was bapping other people out party. Yeah.
Okay. The first part of that was just like good, clean college fun, like streaking the quad, and then it was like. And then I also burned down a house and I shot someone's dog.
Oh, I did do some social justice work. I heard a girl screaming at her mother on the phone, and it sounded like it was very bad. So I had a paintball grenade, and she had a very nice car that we threw the paintball grenade at because she was disrespecting her mother, and I didn't like it.
Okay, man, I would have fucked you up if you had done that to me.
You don't know.
I would have knocked you out.
But Heather, I was like Batman. I was the Knight. I disappeared, and they never found me. Well, they're still looking. So
They're still looking. All right, so you got to wait before you can go back in those counties.
I had like, I think I was in a Batman costume for that actually.
I'm trying to think of what the most destructive thing I ever did when I was drunk. And I think the worst I ever did was I had a fight with an egg fight at someone else's house.
Like throwing eggs?
Yes, on their very nice deck.
Was this malicious on your part?
No, we thought it was real funny because we were real drunk.
Oh, so it was almost a sportsman-like competition.
Yeah, although I don't think the people who like owned the house were happy about it, but yeah,
that's fair.
We were having fun.
Heather, what's your most destructive drunken?
Well, I don't know that I've been destructive necessarily, but I've certainly made bad choices. The only thing that came to mind was when I fell off of a wagon and like almost knocked my teeth out. We were at, I was a sorority girl and we would go to these fraternity parties. And I remember one of them, there was some kind of I was at Oklahoma State. It was very country. And there was like a hayride situation. And my date for the party had brought Everclear and like a little bit of punch. And I was only like 18, 19. I never really drank. I was really good kid. And so I was like, Everclear, you can hardly taste it. Oh, blah, blah. Drunk out of my mind on this hayride. And I'm like, woo! And I threw up my hands and fell off of the wagon. Literally fell off the wagon. They stop it. They come back. And the next thing I know, some girl has her finger in my mouth and she's going like this. And then I get chunked back up to the wagon. The next morning I wake up like in my bed, all like gravel up in my cheeks and my hands and my legs. I'm still wearing my cowboy boots because it was like a country party. And my jaw had locked and I had like dirt and everything in there. The girl who told me the next day, she was checking for my teeth because they thought maybe I knocked my teeth out. That's how hard I felt with this wagon. Yeah.
You're also probably like cleaning out your mouth of like all that gravel.
She was just like, all her teeth or whatever, and like just throw her back up on the wagon, kept going. And then I guess they got to my sorority house and somebody carried me up. They put me down on my bed and I was out cold. Like nobody was like, should we take her to the hospital? She may have a head injury. Also, my jaw locked. Like I hit it so hard, and then I was out that my jaw, when I woke up the next morning, like barfing, it was like through my teeth. It was horrible.
That's horrible.
I was also worried that you in the night would have like a piece of gravel would have dislodged and you'd choke.
Right, exactly. I'm like, there were just a series of bad choices that were made when I was drinking, but I don't remember ever necessarily breaking something of somebody else's or being destructive. It might have happened. I'm sure it did. But all I can think of is how I hurt myself. Oh, I almost died.
I mean, I have definitely been in those shoes. I legitimately become, it's a Jekyll Hyde situation. It's just,
no. Does your drunk alter ego have a name, Jason?
Yes, they call him Baby Hulk.
Baby Hulk.
So I was at a convention I was promoting some reality paranormal show I was doing, and we were in Gettysburg at a convention, and they had a Jack Sparrow impersonator there, and I was Baby Hulk had emerged, and he wedged himself underneath the room service cart. And while the guy was taking care of something else, and they wheeled me into Jack Sparrow's room, and then Hulk smashed. And
then Hulk smashed. Then what?
There are photos of Baby Hulk versus Jack Sparrow out there.
Wow. I love that it took us this long to get to that insane story.
We need to see those photos.
I will dig them up and tag both of you so that you can see that. I mean, he did.
I love that to Baby Hulk, like the Jack Sparrow impersonator was like the Beatles or Elvis, or like you had to
No, they
sneak
were not
in
friends.
like a
He
fucking
was
sitcom.
he was out. He was not. They were not friends. And I know Baby Hulk felt personally attacked, I guess, for lack of a better term. He felt disparaged by Jack Sparrow, and then it exploded, and it was not.
Wow! Don't
Wow.
fuck
No,
with
I was
Baby
wrapped
Hulk.
in his bed sheet. I was wrapped in his bed sheets, and yeah.
Wow.
Did you get kicked out of that hotel?
No, I nope. You know, I'm destructive, but I'm very quiet while I do it. So,
That's
you're
shocking.
just like you just run.
he didn't report me at all. So like I don't. I mean, maybe he enjoyed it. I'm not really sure.
Then, I guess.
I had that comforter from that hotel for years.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Bet Hulk took it as a souvenir.
Right.
Of course.
I think this is a parenting show. I probably should switch gears before more of my crimes turn up.
More of your crimes. You start admitting to. The police are watching like, oh, that's the comforter we've been looking for.
Well, whenever like there would be an incident, like if I had gotten to a certain level, I knew there was a dude in high school that I don't like, so I would always just use his name whenever I got to that point. They'd be like, "Who are you?" And I'd be like, "I'm Brian Benson." And then like so for years, I don't think that guy could go to Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania because they were looking for him. You know, this Brian
really
Benson.
Smart. I can't believe I never thought to do that.
Well, it doesn't sound like you have a Baby Hulk side. Do you have an alter ego?
Not really. When I would get like super drunk, we would call it my wake up character. That was her name. And essentially what it came from this one time where we had really tied one on, and we had to get up early in the morning, and my husband tried to wake me up, and I said, I am awake. This is my wake up character. And so ever since then, wake up character is kind of
what you call
she's a pretty benign alter ego. What's that, Heather?
She's a fun gal. She's just fun to have around at the parties.
Yeah.
Heather, was your hayride? Was your rag and ride? Was that a persona? Is that a separate persona for you under the influence?
No, I was just drunk. I was just blotto for no reason. I also the only thing that does me in is like you were saying earlier, like when I drink tequila, I just get way honest with people. I just get way too honest, and that's when I lose the filter, I guess. And maybe not honest. Maybe I do get a little more sassy, a little more mean. Mean Heather comes out. So I don't do tequila anymore.
Right.
I don't.
See drunk college me at drunk versus now. Like now, I just like after the kids go to bed, my wife and I will drink and just play Mario Kart. It's much more benign.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, now I'll have like, maybe a beer or some wine or something. I'm so old though, you guys. I can't drink as much anymore because it hurts. Like I get too full and then I'm like, oh, I'm bloated. And then I wake up the next morning, I have a headache and I can't do the things that I want to do. So I like don't drink as much as I used to. Because my body is just like, lady, you're old. What are you doing?
Oh
the last time Maureen, go ahead.
Sorry, Maureen in the chat just wrote something.
Yeah, she wrote. Go ahead, Betsy.
I got kicked out of a bar in my hometown because I got sick on a girl who refused to move for me to make it to the bathroom. I
That's
feel like
on
that's
her.
really on that girl. Yeah.
That's on her. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
you know, if
that's just
someone is
rude.
telling you they're about to barf, move. Get out
Yeah.
of the way.
That is a
There's
party
certain things
foul
like-
on her.
Like if someone goes like this, you know they're choking, and if someone goes like, you know they're gonna throw up. You gotta act accordingly when you get those cues.
Yes. Respect the barf sign.
I'm sorry though, Jason. I had interrupted you. What were you about to say before I interrupted you?
I have no idea. I have a very short memory. The last time I think I drank in a public place was at Disneyland with Kate Mulligan when I was out there in May. And we went to the Avengers bar at California Adventure and we hit it hard. And then like,
Man, you must have had a lot of money because those drinks are insanely expensive.
yeah, it was
to burn.
It was well, so it was the first time I had been away from my family. Since before my wife had the stroke, I had not been away from them. So I had kind of like set aside this little nest egg of
to go party.
This is the only time I'm going to get to do this.
Yeah.
So
Let
Kate
loose.
and I kind of went and we shot a bunch of footage of parents at Disney without kids stuff, and then we just went and tore up California Adventure.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
and
so
of all
fun.
the places, I feel like that's where you belong. If you're gonna get drunk, Jason,
You're gonna live
where you should be. That's your mothership.
It was a lot of fun. Well, they had this like, it was a milk stout, it was like a marshmallow milk stout that had ice cream and marshmallows in it, but it was like a Guinness based almost beer. So the ice cream like made it like a root beer float.
Oh, all right.
And like,
at first I was like, I don't know, but I don't know about marshmallows in my beer. That makes me want to fart.
So I also was hesitant, but when I got it, because the ice cream neutralized the stout, it legitimately was like a dessert beverage.
I feel like if you're drinking a stout, though, I don't want it to be neutralized. Like I want to feel all of the stoutiness, because that's such a thick beer. I want to feel it all. Like, let's do it, because then I know I can only have one, because it all gets so full. I'll be like, all like bloated and tired the rest of the night. So I mostly do wine, but I'm starting in my old age. I'm starting to switch to cocktails now.
Yeah,
and I'm learning to I like a good Bloody Mary. I realize I can hit a couple of those before I get too full, and I don't like cocktails that are really sweet. So when I do drink, I'm exploring more cocktail options because I feel like they get the job done quicker and make me less full.
And there's like a lot of jazz and pizzazz. Like if you're not going to be drinking a lot, it's sort of like let's make this a party in my hand, because we're only going to get
throwing a little
one shot,
sprig
maybe.
of herbs or something in it, or a lemon wedge. Like, let's go nuts.
Have either of your kids seen you guys under the influence of alcohol? Like, have they seen you at a drunk state?
I don't think
if
so.
they have, they weren't aware of it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. If it have, I have to think about that too. But I think if she has, she didn't know, or maybe it might have been like if we were on a vacation or something and we were sitting by the pool. Mommy had one too many, Mai Tais.
It happened.
But it maybe is something like that, but never like just at home on a random Tuesday.
Yeah, these days I'm more like an edible and then play.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you guys do the edible ganja marijuana situation?
Just recently.
Oh, really? You guys are exploring it?
Yeah, and Baby Hulk had sort of in college. Yes, I was so much crazy, and then so I was. It's kind of a funny story. I went to school. I went to college in Hawaii. I was at Hawaii Pacific University, and mushrooms grow very naturally there, kind of everywhere. And the guys who lived next to me had gotten some and put it on pizza, but I didn't that didn't tell me that that's what they had done.
Dude.
Cool. You can't
Yeah.
drug your friends.
And so, like, I knew something was off because the mushrooms were way drier than they should have been from Pizza Hut. And I was like, these are not normal. And we were watching Austin Powers 2. And I remember the paint, like the color orange, started pouring out of the television like paint onto the floor.
Oh,
And all I said was,
no.
"There's something wrong with the TV." And they were like, ah, and I was like, oh no, this is not good at all. And we had our dorm floor it was black and white checkers, and they started rising up and down like a video game pillars, like a Mario game. And so, like, I was just in my bed for 5 hours trying to figure out. But the one part that I remember more than anything is at the time my laptop, for whatever reason, I had Grover from Sesame Street from his potty book just sitting on the toilet, like that was my screensaver. And I looked over, and Grover looked at me, and he winked, and I was like, and then I looked back, and Grover got up, folded up his newspaper, which he did not really have in the photo, flushed the toilet, and he walked off. And for years, I had like an unnatural fear of Grover that I have since mastered.
Oh, wow. I'm glad you were able to get over that. You can't drug your friends. Like, if we teach people nothing today, it's that you really should not drug your friends. Like,
being on drugs should be a consensual
that might be the lesson I take
experience.
to my kids this week. I'm like, look, and someday you're going to go to college or in Anthony's place, prison. And then you're going to be offered things. You may be the one who got the things, but you don't give your friends the things unless they know about the things.
Trust your gut on the shady pizza.
I mean, let's face it. I was going to eat that pizza no matter what was on it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's pizza. You can't turn down pizza.
How do you all feel about the, as parents, I feel really weird and conflicted about the fact that they're going to go out into the world and experiment. And part of me wants to be like, yeah, all of that stuff is bad and you should never touch it. And only assholes do those things. And then part of me wants to be like, honest. Where are you all at? I mean, we got some time, but I got an 11-year-old. I mean, I don't got that much.
Oh, I mean, so it's not that far off.
Not that far.
No.
I feel like all I can do is tell her the dangerous side of it. Like, here's what could happen if you do them, and also encourage her to have enough self-confidence to, if she is going to do it, don't do it because someone's pressuring you to do it. Do it because it's something you want to do and not because all the cool kids are doing it or whatever, to have enough confidence in herself to make that choice. But I have to remind myself, and it's the same thing with like drinking or, anything she's going to do that I don't want her to do. Ultimately, she is her own person and she's going to have to make those mistakes. I made mistakes. I learned lessons the hard way. Thank God I'm still alive. But it made me, those mistakes and those things that I learned and did throughout my life made me the person that I am today. And I don't want to take that away from her by instilling fear. I would rather her sort of empower her if I can to, like I said, have the confidence to make the decision on her own. If it truly is something she's going to do, I'm not going to be able to stop her. I'm not trying to go out and get her drugs and be like, here, try it. Mommy wants to help you. But I'm not going, mommy will show you how to do it.
Heather's not going out and grabbing an 8-ball and
I'm a cool mom. I'm not, but I know she's going to sow her oats. My child is very stubborn. She's very strong-willed and has a huge independent spirit. She's going to do something, try something if she wants to. So I just have to educate her as best I can. So,
yeah.
Betsy, where are you with it?
I don't know. My 11-year-old the other day was telling us that alcohol should be illegal. So, we've got a ways to go before we hit some issues.
Yeah, he's apparently practicing prohibition.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's why I'm asking.
It's a weird situation for me because I grew up in the 80s, so like there was a Just Say No to Drugs Fear special, and maybe you guys remember this, but there was a one in like I was in probably 3rd or 4th grade where like all the old cartoon characters, they brought them together and like they crossed over. It was like Muppet Babies and Ninja Turtles and Garfield and like all of these things, and there was like it was like the all-star Just Say No to Drugs special, and because like if Michelangelo the Ninja Turtle tells me I shouldn't be doing this thing, like I had a real moral dilemma when I got to college.
Yeah.
Because I was like, but Garfield said this is not okay. Kermit was staunchly against this.
But this is also why they say for these like for celebrities, singers, pop stars, whatever, that our kids look up to, the music they sing. That's why for so long parents were like, hey, you're setting an example for our kids. Like, don't do this so openly, or don't do this or whatever. And these pop stars are like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm my own person. I can hump whoever I want and like do blow off a hooker, whatever. They're like doing their own thing, and they should. They're adults. They can do that. But it's such a tough situation for parents because you're like, you want to have those figures that your kids relate to be like positive and not encouraging them to do drugs or drink or whatever it may be. So it's like, we can't, not everybody likes Taylor Swift, so we can't all just be like, do what Taylor does.
Or Jojo Siwa, that he seems kind of
Jojo Siwa was
she holds a lot of power even still, like right now, like
a tremendous amount of power, you guys. Jojo Siwa is very influential. And she's only 18.
Well, the little girls on our soccer team, like, because I coach a youth soccer team, and they absolutely, we absolutely, like, they love her. And like, I don't know that much about her. I just know who she is. But like, they're legitimately, that's an icon to some of those people, those kids.
Yeah. And here's what I will say about Jojo Siwa. She's at least positive. She's not trying to tear anybody down. She doesn't talk smack about people. She isn't openly like encouraging people to do drugs or anything like that. She isn't also like hypersexualized. Like that's another problem is it's like so many young artists in particular are, I don't know if they are pressured to be hypersexualized or whatever, but it's like, can't we just enjoy like songs without having to see somebody like shaking their whole ass, in front of our kids' faces? Like, I don't know. I mean,
15 years before that, though, like that's what Britney and Christina. I mean, that was like their whole...
and even they got a lot of slack, heat for it. Remember, because people were like, "Oh, the children," and they're like, "Hey, we're women." They were in their 20s when they had that threesome kiss with Madonna. Remember, they were in their 20s, but
they were all also sexualized incredibly from a young age, like forced by the adults in their lives. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. So
they laugh when I say, but
yeah. So they were like, "This is just who we are and what we do," and it's like, you can't tell an adult not to, like Miley Cyrus when she came out and was like licking stuff and I went through that phase, like she was so in her oats as an adult, like trying to find herself, and you can't tell adults not to do that. So it's hard. It's going to be on the parents to sort of filter out and find like what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. And it's like, it's just one more layer of things we have to do as parents.
You know what? I also saw that Miley Cyrus thing is sort of like, it was her she had been sexualized a lot from a very young age. I thought that was her sort of taking it and sort of making it her own. She was like, I'm in charge of being sexualized.
Was she
to the point where it's like gross and over the top. What's that?
Yeah. Was she sexualized on Hannah Montana? Because I don't feel like that was a like sexual show.
I don't.
I mean, I think any kid in Hollywood is, no matter what. But she did like a nude photo shoot for Rolling Stone or something. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was post Hannah, right? That was like when she was in her early 20s.
Yeah.
Oh no,
like early 30s.
She was a minor.
No.
For that one?
She was new for Rolling Stone?
Oh, was it the Annie Leibowitz photo shoot?
Yes.
I kind of remember it. I don't remember the specifics. I just kind of remember it.
Yeah.
Because I vaguely remember that. 15 years old. She was 15.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think when she was just like, I'm licking fucking this guy who's singing. Yeah, I'm licking a lollipop and I'm half naked. I think that was her being like, I'm in charge of how I express my sexuality. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is normal if you're going through sort of maybe some of the trauma that she, you know, I don't know if she felt like it was traumatic, but I think your
no, I think she said that like it was completely like a mental it was a complete mindfuck for her.
I'm sure. Yeah. It had to have been. I keep seeing all these Disney stars that are coming out now that were like, here's how my life was ruined. And meanwhile, everyone's like, but you were such a huge part of my childhood. Like, people don't realize that child actors and child stars, it's a hard road to go down. And not everybody ends up the same way. But a lot of them end up having, you know, trouble and a lot of trouble connecting with the world once their stardom fades away, you know? Even like, where's Dakota Fanning? You guys remember Dakota Fanning was like the it girl. She was like the hot little girl. I don't want to say hot little girl. That's inappropriate. She was the hot.
And now Heather's been canceled on our show.
Oh, this is not how I thought it would go.
Oh, God. But she was like the it actor, child actor. And she was like so good. She was in everything. And now it's like her sister is, you know, doing really well. Like, what is Dakota Fanning doing, guys? She is, you know.
No, I don't.
She's probably diving in a pile of money like fucking Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, probably.
I couldn't even tell you. Like, I haven't seen anything from her in a really long time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure she's still doing something. But, yeah, you just never know in Hollywood, like, how they're going to treat you, if they're going to chew you up and spit you out.
Oh, she has, like, 4 movies coming out this year.
Dakota?
Yeah, she's playing Hillary Clinton in something.
Stop.
Oh, thank God.
You know, and that wasn't a joke. That was really what her IMDb says. It was announced.
Wow.
I love that someone is like, a young Hillary Clinton. Who? Dakota Fanning. Yes.
I mean, you saw shades of it when she was in the Cat in the Hat movie.
Oh, my God.
We should wrap this up. Guys, where can they find you?
Go for it, Betsy.
You can find me on Instagram at betsy.stover or at Why Mommy Drinks podcast on Instagram. And you can check out my podcast, which is on hiatus at the moment, but it's but we've got hundreds of episodes. So if you haven't listened to it yet, you can just start at
I'm on one of them.
That's right. And Heather's on. Heather, I think you're on 2 of them even. Maybe?
Am I? No.
Maybe you're on 1.
No,
go find out. And of course, Jason and Jamie are on it as well. So Why Mommy Drinks podcast.
Yay! And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at the Heather Brooker, on TikTok and Twitter at Heather Brooker. My podcast is called Motherhood in Hollywood, which you can find, which is also on hiatus right now because Mama tired. And you can find it at motherhoodinhollywood.com.
And you can find us here every Tuesday night live, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Usually it's Jamie, Kaler, Kate Mulligan, and an assorted rogues gallery of moms and dads. But also October 14th and 15th, Jamie, Kaler, Kate Mulligan, and I will be live on stage doing stand-up together in Sayre, Pennsylvania at the Sayre Theater. Tickets are on sale now at BradfordCountyMovies.com. Pre-sale tickets are on sale until the 30th of September, and then price goes up. So you want to get them. Over 100 tickets have already sold. So people coming from as far away as Atlanta so far for the show. So super excited about it. Hopefully you guys can come out and check it out.
Amazing. Well,
thank you, ladies, for joining me this week. Well, hopefully have both of you back very, very soon. And we'll see you guys all next time on the Parents Lounge. Good night, everybody.
Betsy.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.